Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most anticipated movies in the MCU, Spider-Man 4. After the wild events of No Way Home, Peter Parker's world has been turned upside down. With the multiverse in full swing and Peter going back to basics, there are countless directions the story could go. So, we put together 5 exciting plot theories that could shape the next chapter of Spider-Man's story. Let's jump right in. The return of Kingpin. In this theory, Peter Parker goes up against one of New York's biggest and most ruthless crime bosses, Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin. We already saw Kingpin's return in the Hawkeye series, and his involvement in Spider-Man 4 would shift the tone to a grittier, street-level narrative. With Peter now living a more isolated life, away from the help of MJ, Ned, and the Avengers, he'd have to face the dangers of New York's criminal underworld alone. Kingpin's vast resources and connections make him a formidable foe, especially when Peter's no longer protected by his past connections or his public identity. The storyline would likely highlight Peter's internal struggles with responsibility and the consequences of his decision to erase his existence from the people he loves. It could also serve as a way to introduce new street-level villains like Hammerhead or Tombstone, fleshing out the New York crime world even more. The Symbiote Saga. Next up, we have the Symbiote Saga. Remember the post-credits scene in No Way Home where Venom's symbiote was left behind in the MCU? That piece of the alien symbiote could become the main antagonist of Spider-Man 4. In this theory, Peter unknowingly bonds with the symbiote, which grants him new powers but starts influencing his behavior. The Black Suit storyline is iconic because it explores Peter's inner darkness as he becomes more aggressive and reckless. His friends notice the change, but without MJ or Ned in his life anymore, Peter could struggle with the symbiote's grip on him alone. This would be a perfect way to explore Peter's personal identity crisis, torn between power and responsibility, while teasing future MCU versions of Venom or even Carnage. The psychological and physical battle with the symbiote would give fans some intense moments, ultimately leading Peter to reject it, setting up a future face-off with Eddie Brock, who could appear later as the MCU's Venom. The return of Gwen Stacy. Now, this theory brings the multiverse back into play with the return of Gwen Stacy. In No Way Home, we saw how characters from different universes could cross over, and that could happen again with Spider-Gwen, or a variant of Gwen Stacy from another dimension. Imagine Peter Parker still recovering emotionally from his break with MJ, and suddenly, Gwen, a version of someone he lost or never knew, appears. This would create a major emotional dilemma for Peter. Not only would he be dealing with guilt over Gwen's death in his own universe, assuming it follows the comics, but also with feelings for a Gwen who never knew him. Spider-Gwen could add a new dynamic to the action scenes with her unique powers and fighting style. This multiverse storyline could also tie into bigger MCU events and could even explore how Peter connects with the growing multiverse chaos. In a broader sense, it also keeps the door open for other multiverse characters like Miles Morales or even more Spider-People. The Sinister Six assembles. Now, what's a Spider-Man movie without some serious villain action? The Sinister Six assembles theory brings together a team of Spider-Man's most dangerous foes. We've already been introduced to a few of them: Vulture, Shocker, and Scorpion. This theory posits that these villains, possibly alongside Mysterio, if he somehow survived, or new faces like Kraven the Hunter, or even Chameleon, form the Sinister Six. They're united by a common goal, to take down Spider-Man, and are secretly being funded or manipulated by a hidden power, which could be none other than Norman Osborn. Bringing Norman Osborn into the MCU would be massive, especially if he's the one behind the formation of the Sinister Six. This storyline would challenge Peter like never before, facing multiple villains at once, all while dealing with the aftermath of No Way Home. A team of foes would also escalate the stakes and make it clear that Peter's problems are only getting bigger. Plus, this would give fans the full Sinister Six lineup they've been waiting for. So there you have it, 5 exciting theories that could shape Spider-Man 4. Whether it's the Kingpin taking over the symbiote's dark influence, or a full Sinister Six battle, there's so much potential for Peter Parker's next adventure. What do you think? Do any of these theories seem likely, or do you have a different idea of where the story might go? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe,